there's something very subtle happening in childhood right now, and most of us can feel it, even if we can't quite name it. Kids are more stimulated than ever, more entertained, more scheduled, more occupied, and yet imagination feels thinner, shorter lived, easier to interrupt. Now, this isn't about blaming screens, and this is not about nostalgia, and it's not about going backward. It's about noticing what's quietly disappearing and deciding intentionally to protect it. Because imagination isn't just a childhood luxury, it's a foundational human skill. And if we lose it, we lose far more than just creativity. Let's start with a distinction that matters. Imagination doesn't disappear because children don't have it. Children are born imaginative. What's declining is unstructured, internally generated imagination, the kind that emerges when there's silence, there's boredom, there's no clear direction, there's nothing telling you what happens next or what is or is not possible. Modern childhood is increasingly filled with constant visual input, rapid pacing, external prompts, performance, and outcomes. When every moment is filled, directed, or optimized, there's very little room left for imagination to just wander. And imagination does not thrive under pressure. It thrives under permission. This is why parents will often say, "My child used to pretend all the time, and now they don't." Nothing is wrong. The environment has changed. Here's what overstimulation really does, and this is so important. When the brain is constantly receiving fast visuals, loud sounds, quick rewards, immediate feedback, it doesn't get much practice creating. Instead, it gets very good at responding, reacting, consuming, and switching. This isn't a moral issue. It's a neurological one. The imagination muscle, especially mental visualization, is built when the brain has to generate images internally. When a child listens to a story and pictures it, when they stare out a window and invent something, or when they sit in quiet and their mind fills the space. If the space never exists, the muscle doesn't get used. Now, unused muscles, they don't disappear, they just weaken. And this is where the conversation often gets too small. Imagination isn't about art projects, or whimsy, or fantasy, all of which are wonderful things. Rather, imagination is the foundation of problem solving, emotional regulation, empathy, resilience, reading comprehension, original thinking, leadership, innovation. Every single adult skill that we admire started as a childhood imagination skill. The ability to picture a different outcome, to hold multiple possibilities, to see beyond what's immediately visible, to tolerate uncertainty. When imagination is weak, we see rigidity, anxiety around ambiguity, the fear of being wrong, and dependence on external direction. When imagination is strong, we see confidence, flexibility, curiosity, and emotional range. This is not optional. This is infrastructure. So here's the good news. You don't need to overhaul your life. You don't need more activities, and you don't need special materials. Imagination grows in micro moments. Here are a few that matter. Number 1, leave space. Don't rush to fill every quiet moment. Silence is not empty, it's fertile. Number 2, ask better questions. Instead of, what is it? Try, what could it be? Or, if this had a secret, what would it be? Number 3, practice mental visualization. Read one sentence, pause, and then ask, what do you see? No picture book, no screen, just the mind. Number 4, let their ideas stay strange. Don't correct imaginative thinking. Odd ideas just means imagination is working. Number 5, model it yourself. Narrate wonder. Name beauty when you see it or hear it. And ask silly questions out loud. Most importantly, stop worrying about being silly. Stop worrying about what other people think. Children learn imagination by watching adults allow it. As a writer, especially someone who creates stories for children, this is where everything connects for me. Stories are not just entertainment. Stories are imagination practice, emotional rehearsal, and meaning-making tools. When a child hears a story written to them, using their name, their world, their feelings, imagination lights up immediately. Because stories say, you belong here. Your inner world matters, and you are allowed to imagine. That's why I believe so deeply in personalized storytelling. It's not just novelty, it's neurological engagement. Stories ask children to do something that no screen requires. They ask them to co-create, to picture, to feel, to wonder, to linger. When a child gets lost in a story, they're not being captured, they're being invited. And that invitation builds the inner world that they'll carry for the rest of their lives. The crisis of imagination isn't loud, it's quiet. It shows up in rushed days, in filled schedules, in moments that never pause long enough to wonder. But the fix is gentle. Slow down, leave space, tell stories, notice beauty, let ideas wander. Imagination doesn't need to be taught. It needs to be protected. If this resonated with you, I'd love for you to stay here. This channel is about imagination, stories, and the inner worlds that we're building for children and for ourselves. And if you'd like to share one small way you're creating space for imagination, leave it in the comments. I read every single one.